Yo guys, welcome back to Stock Insider. Today we'll be talking about AMD, where I believe AMD will stand in the coming months and years. A little bit about AMD's big future in my opinion, and I will also talk a little bit about my position and even maybe positions in the portfolio. So today is down, we are almost 1% down, market has just opened. We did have a nice pullback since our all-time highs on the total portfolio count. So yeah, that's mainly because of SoFi. In my opinion, actually AMD did have a little bit of a pull upwards, so that's one thing, and SoFi did bring it down because that was in a profit of around 11,500 and now we're only at 7,500, so that's around 4,000 less than it was. So that's one of the bigger things. If it was still at those all-time highs and with a little bit of the recovery of AMD, we would already have a new all-time high. But of course, if we look at SoFi's chart, we see that there's just a very big pullback going on, and that a little bit of the catalysts that the bears are using are helping the stock going down in the short term, in my opinion. In the long term, we're still having just a nice buying opportunity, and the numbers of SoFi are just too strong. But of course, I do believe that SoFi probably will need one more quarter to convince the bull investors to also buy very hard in dips like this, so that it doesn't drag the stock down for too long. It can drag the stock down for a couple of days, in my opinion. That's very healthy, but not for too long. And probably for things like that to recover faster, we do need some quarters or maybe one quarter just to prove the point that SoFi is growing very rapidly and that the market that they are operating in is literally moving towards the concept of working on a business like they do. So yeah, that's a little bit about SoFi, but the video is not going about SoFi. We'll talk about AMD. So about data centers, gaming and PC, foundry and supply chain, government support and subsidies, and the sin energy. Also, I talk about this is not the one. I will talk about AMD and the was it this one? Yes, it was this one. So this is the one. I will talk about Intel, why it's up 9.7%, and what it means with AMD. So that they are in early talks to make chips for AMD because they have the needed stuff to do that and the needed factories to do that, which AMD does not have. AMD before did make all of their stuff with TSMC, and now they should do a couple of things with Intel, but this is very early in the beginning talks, so there's nothing really decided yet, but that is something that they started to talk about. So going into the AMD position, we do have 168 shares. I do want to improve that position to around 180 shares, but I think that 180 is the very top and the max of what I want to achieve in share count. So talk about AI and data centers. The biggest engine is AI. We did see that in some news articles about OpenAI. OpenAI also increased as a private company to the biggest private company on earth at this point, with the most market cap of 500 billion. So that just OpenAI is always one of the companies that has been a proof of AI accelerating, that AI will even be bigger than people are actually thinking about. So the biggest engine at this point is AI in almost every sector. So AMD with its MI300 accelerators, AMD is entering the fastest growing market today. AI infrastructure hyperscalers like Microsoft and Amazon are already testing and adopting these chips. These are high margin long-term contracts. At the same time, AMD's EPYC server line continues to grow, gaining market share in data centers. Every single percentage point of market share is worth billions. Gaming and PC is also something that has been coming back very strong since it was actually down a lot. AMD also remains strong in consumer markets. The Ryzen processors, Radeon GPUs, and console chips provide a stable revenue base. Innovations like FSR and fluid motion frames enhance the gaming ecosystem and keep AMD competitive with Nvidia and Intel. The foundry and supply chain, so traditionally AMD depends heavily on TSMCs, as I said before, but recent talks with Intel Foundry opened the door to alternative manufacturing partners. This means lower risks, more production, certainty, and greater negotiation power for investors. Less dependency equals risk, less risk premium. So this is also one of the very good catalysts, not only for AMD but also for Intel, because they are starting to work together. That's literally the way they have to do it to make AI even bigger. All of these big companies, Nvidia, Intel, AMD, Broadcom, all of those things, all of those companies have to work together to make it even bigger, and that's very good of a catalyst for all of them. But of course, it comes down on which is the better investments on its own, and in my opinion, that's AMD as an investment. So this news is actually very positive for Intel if you're an Intel investor. So yes, then we also have the government support and subsidies. So governments around the world are pumping billions into the semiconductor sector through programs like the US CHIPS Act and European initiatives. AMD benefits indirectly. Partners can expand capacity faster and geopolitical risks are mitigated. The synergy, so here's the key. These catalysts reinforce each other. AI chips drive growth, EPYC ensures strong margins, the gaming provides steady cash flow, foundry diversification lowers risks, and government support strengthens the whole ecosystem. Together they build the foundation for sustained profit growth and higher valuation for AMD's stock. The conclusion of my own is that with AI as turbo, servers as a backbone, gaming as a base, and foundry diversification as insurance, AMD is positioned very strongly over the next 3 years. These are the catalysts that could not only shape the company's future, but also potentially lift its stock significantly. Also, there was an interview with Lisa Su. She was talking about that every company, in which market you are operating in, you need something that you are leading in. And she's very true on that, and we do see that in data centers, which is growing market, and data centers is something that everyone will need and will use. They are actually the leader in that. They are the leader in data centers. You can look it up. That's true. It's a fact. They are the leader in data centers, and they are starting to maybe be a leader in a couple of things. Also, I think it was on the CPUs. So for every CPU Intel sold, so for every 9 CPUs Intel sold, AMD sold 1. And now, a couple of years later, that's already for every 2 CPUs Intel sold, AMD sold 1. So they are already catched up very big time, and it's just probably a matter of time in how much more AMD will grow and catch up, and it's still in the phase of catching up in things, and already they start to be dominant. And also Nvidia literally has to improve their products to compete, because alright, Nvidia is the best company, it has the most market share. AMD will never get to the level of Nvidia where it's now, but in the meantime AMD will not 10x to the amount of what Nvidia is worth, but AMD can do its own very good thing and just grow, adapt, do its best, and yeah, it can maybe go to $1 trillion market cap. And I do believe that that is not a thing of how or what or if, but that is literally a story of when. So when will AMD hit $1 trillion? So is that in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? That's to be seen, of course, but I do believe that AMD is catching up very rapidly. And if you look at the business 2 years ago or in only 1 year ago, it's going very hard, and it's just growing very hard. So I do believe that AMD will be a very big investment in the future. It only has like, what was it, 25% in profit, which is already very nice, of course, but I do believe that this one will go even higher than 25%, and it will go above 100 and 150% in returns if you look in 5 years. So that's a lot, and I do believe a lot in this. And yeah, maybe it are big statements, but I do believe that those are the statements that can be made. And if I'm wrong, then I myself am wrong, because you don't need to listen to me. I am doing my own thing. I am investing for 2 years now, and I have already a profit of 25k. You can listen to all guys on YouTube, or you can listen to some interviews of millionaires or billionaires or known investors or market peoples, but in the end you do need to make your own due diligence, and you need to provide yourself with the right information to make the right decisions. And yeah, sometimes you will make the wrong decision, and I myself have done that already sometimes, because I was choosing between SoFi or Palantir 2 years ago when I started investing. That those were the two companies that I wanted to buy, but I went more to the SoFi side, which I'm still very bullish on SoFi. But on the other hand, if I had as much shares of Palantir as I did of SoFi, I would already be above 200k. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. You will make decisions, you will make decisions you maybe will regret in a couple of months, but still look on the future, look on the bright side, look to the future, and just do your own thing, believe in the companies you buy, and it will all work out, in my opinion. I'm still only 2 years in. I have my whole life in front of me for investing, so as I said before, look to the future, and in my opinion, my own future looks bright in this kind of things. So yeah, I believe in what I'm doing, and if you're just a beginning investor, you also just have to look what you're doing and just believe in what you're doing. And yeah, just look into the market, look what your type of investments are, and put your own principles in front of your investments, of course. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.